All right, I'm gonna make this one real quick. Gotta give a shout out to my buddy Rudder. Let's see, let me grab the light so you can see this shit. Drilled me a new hole, popped in a Harbor Freight grommet. Both sides. Came out beautifully. Got my bends. It runs along this floor support, comes down, runs the length of the tunnel, comes back to the rear pan, and joins in this bulkhead fitting right here, like so. Now, I'm gonna call it a stopping point now. I don't want to bend this yet. It'll run up to a bulkhead here, and this will be the rear brake feed on the bottom. The top one I think I'm gonna use for the front brake. I'm gonna tee it. I should be able to run out of this and into this, no problem. I'm pretty sure I'll have enough to swing that. If someone else has any thoughts as to that being a bad idea, I mean, the way I see it, it's higher, so it'll allow the suspension travel. As far as the turning, I just gotta make it enough slack to where it can come out, where it can swing left turn. The right turn is gonna bring it closer. So, I mean, the only other option would be to like use something like this hole here, which in my opinion, it's not gaining it too much. I mean, it's gonna shorten the hose a little bit. I could still use this as the T location, but I'd have to put some kind of washer in it or drill a hole next to it or something. I'm trying to use up the holes that I have without having to pop new ones. Anyways, if anyone's looking to do 37-degree flares for AN fittings, this rigid tool is amazing. I'm gonna have to show you the box to get a part number. But it does wonderful work. Also, if anyone needs AN fittings, they still have them in stock. You'll notice all this stuff is this NOS Sniper. All this stuff's from Holley. All these Sniper items, they're running clearance. They're discontinued. They don't carry them anymore. So all this shit's marked down like hella cheap. So I bought a shit ton of it. Probably more than I'll use, but I got this little China one just to use as a squaring tool. You can see where I got the cut marks. I lock up the line in that to run the hacksaw down. Or if I had to use a hacksaw on this one because I couldn't do anything, but if I'm able to get the line out of the car, I'll put it in the vise and run the bandsaw down it. Keep the temp down, because apparently if you heat the stainless, it gets work hardened and it'll become a pain to work with. But this is just a little hand bender. These are little cheapo Amazon specials that I'll use for the tight areas. I'll probably have to use it right here because I'm gonna try to get the bend as close to this as I can, and I don't think that big bender will work. This big bender is also amazing. I think it has a part number on it, maybe. Nope, you're screwed there too. But it's an Imperial tool. Just look, I'm pretty sure I ordered it off of Amazon. That might be the model number there, 370FH. I don't know, but anyway, just if you need a good bender that does those three sizes, quarter, 3/8, half. It apparently you can do 3/16 in the quarter because my brake line 3/16 and it bent it just perfect, no problems. The rigid tool is this. That's not it. There we go. There's part number. Model number 377. It has a clutch system in it. So once it gets to the full flare, the T-handle will raise up and will disconnect, and you'll have to do a full rotation, and then it'll lock back in. They tell you once the clutch kicks, try to turn it 2 more times to make sure the flare is good, and it makes just gorgeous flares. I love the way this thing turned out. In fact, here's a piece. I actually flared this one before I remembered that I needed to cut it shorter. Here is the flare. First try flaring ever, and it came out gorgeous. I mean, it doesn't even mar this really. There's few lines on the actual stainless hose. I mean, they say you can scuff those out with Scotch-Brite or something if you're that worried about it looking polished and clean looking. But so anyways, I don't have this done because I need to get this clamped. Originally, my idea was to riv nut into these holes. I think the original clamps, it was a bolt that came through from the inside, so it didn't have a big indentation on the carpet. I'll probably run a center console, which will eat up most of these where you won't see them anyways, but to be safe, I'm gonna order some stainless button head bolts and some stainless clamps and just run the bolt from inside the car and Teflon nut from out here. I've got to get some short bolts and just some Teflon nuts and some washers just in case. And I'm gonna do both of these that way. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna clamp this back section. I might do it the same way, drill a hole into it. I wanna say this area, almost certain is where that reinforcement plate is. I don't remember how far forward it goes, if it goes all the way to this overhang lip. I think it does. So I don't know if I wanna clamp back there or not. I might just clamp it like right here and be done with it. Same thing up here. Once I get those middle clamps, I will probably pop a riv nut into this because the seat platform is here. So I can riv nut somewhere around this area to keep it off of this floor support enough to where it won't bind or be in the way of this if I ever have to pull this floor support off. I shouldn't need another clamp up here somewhere, but if I need to, I could. Same thing over here. I'll probably pop one into this maybe. Once I bend it up, I'll probably bring it up. I might not even need one. I might just bring it up and into the fitting straight. I don't know. I don't want to over clamp this thing. I don't see a need to. It's not like it's going to be moving around all that much, but that's where it's at. I don't want to do my rear end stuff yet. I could go ahead and drill a hole for the bulkhead, the T, but I don't want to start working on my lines because I don't know how I'll need to bend them to fit up to the calipers because I haven't mounted that shit up. Once I get my rear end finished, I can mount that back up. But I'm calling it quits. I'm dripping sweat. It's hot as hell out here. I don't have the AC running today because it was the afternoon and I didn't think I'd be out here long. But I'm gonna order those clamps, some bolts, nuts. Still waiting on my parts from TCI. I haven't got an email saying they shipped yet, so I'm assuming they're still working on making my bar. And I might mount up my Willwood pedals and my master cylinders and just go ahead and get them in so I can start plumbing that stuff too. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Rudder, thanks for the help. Thanks for the idea. Good stuff. Anybody else that's given input, help that I don't recall, thank you guys too. Every little bit helps, man. Every little bit. The fuel line, that was one other thing he had mentioned. I might run this hole here, the original fuel line, but there's another one I could use as well. This big ass hole right here. This is originally for the parking brake. I'm not running a parking brake from the T-handle or the pull handle up front. I'll have a floor brake, which will mount itself back here in the tunnel. So I won't need to use this hole. So I'm thinking I'll need a feed and a return. I'm thinking I can use this and this one here. And that'll take care of those. Now the path of running them, I don't know that yet. I'll have to figure it out. And I also have to figure out how I'm gonna do them because I only have 6 foot of straight line. So I've got a bulkhead at least one place to tee in some more line, I'm sure. Anyways, don't want to make this video long. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.